it's homeostasis. And yeah, we have moved. We finished gas exchange and all the videos are there. We finished respiration. The videos are there. Yeah, you can always go through them and yeah, enjoy the science. So this is another topic, and this time round we shall do something unique. We shall do team teaching. So it's me. It will be me, Ahiro Emma, and that's my email. You can email me, or this is going to be our second teacher, and we see how science can flow. So that's homeostasis. Now with homeostasis, yes, to most of us, it's not a new word, but to some of us, it might appear to be new. But the way you see my illustration, this pic, it's homeostasis. Okay? It shows how the body maintains balance of most of the substances. How the body maintains balance, and actually they must be maintained at a constant level. We shall see the need for maintaining them at a constant level. We shall see how, and good enough, we have studied this topic after studying coordination. We shall talk about more of coordination in this topic. We have a detailed knowledge of coordination in animals, to be specific. So that's the knowledge that we shall be using, much of it, okay, to see how the body maintains its internal environment. So with homeostasis, by definition, we can all define it. It's the maintenance of that stable internal environment. Maintenance of a stable internal environment. There are certain things which happen within you, and let me say you have no control over them. You are not aware why certain things have happened. From nowhere you see yourself sweating, you see yourself shivering, you see yourself responding to different conditions. But actually, do you know why? And do you know how? So in this topic, homeostasis, we shall know how and the most of materials that must be maintained and why they must be maintained. So now we all know that our surrounding, it's not a stable environment. The conditions in our surrounding, not stable at all. Not stable at all. They keep varying. Like for me, this side, it's cold. It is threatening to rain. But in the morning, it was too hot. The sun was too much. And so that's the environment that we live in. But as we all know that all mammals are homoeuthermic organisms. All birds, they are homoeutherms. How do they do it? Which mechanisms do they employ to maintain their bodies warm? And let's not just concentrate on warmth, temperature. There are other conditions in our bodies that must be maintained constant. So there are other conditions that must be maintained constant. And so we are going to see by the end of this topic, we should be experts we should know how our bodies do it and why they do it. Okay? So, let me introduce you the concept of internal environment. I was teaching someone and I was like, if you eat food, as the food is still passing through your digestive tract, it is still outside. It is still out in the outside environment, in the external environment. It's still outside your body. And somebody was like, what? But yeah, it is true. You breathe in air. When air is still in the alveoli, it is still outside your body. You take porridge, you take matoke, you take rice. The rice in the stomach, the rice in the digestive tract is still outside your body. But the internal environment refers to the immediate surrounding of cells. The immediate surrounding of cells. It could be blood, it could be the tissue fluid, but that immediate surrounding of cells is what we refer to as the internal environment. And so it must be kept constant. It must be kept constant. It shouldn't deviate. It must be kept constant. And we should know the need. We should know the reason why it should be kept constant. And so all the tissue fluid in animals, and with tissue fluid I mean blood and the tissue fluid, the fluid which fills the intercellular space, okay, it all constitutes the internal environment. So you can have a look at this, all this. So this is blood that is circulating through the capillaries, okay, through the capillaries or blood vessels. And then if these are your cells, you cannot pack your cells. You cannot pack your cells closely and you fail to have some spaces. For those of you who can play pool table, you know that those billiard balls, those balls, there is no way how you can. Remember, they are circular. You can't pack all of them and you fail to have some spaces in the middle. Now, these spaces that are formed, it's what we call the intercellular spaces. Okay? Intercellular spaces. And man, it's not just space. It is not just space. But it is filled with water. And not just water, but water with dissolved solutes. And so it is that water, it is this fluid that makes what we call the tissue fluid. And it immediately bathes, it immediately showers, it immediately cautions the cells. And it's that fluid, together with this, you can also see this, it showers the cells within the blood capillaries. So it's that fluid that constitutes what we call the internal environment. And so everything within this fluid, the composition of this fluid, the temperature, and stuffs like that must be maintained constant. It must be maintained constant. So think about why and how. Think about how and why. Is there a need? How? Why? Why should you? So if you can answer that, then you'll be good. We have hemolymph in insects. So if this is the insect, then you have the saturating fluid. Now for it, it's colorless because it doesn't have hemoglobin. But it saturates respiratory gases and, should I say food? You can fact check that. So it saturates throughout the entire body. Okay? So also that fluid must be maintained constant. Must be maintained constant. So think about why. Is there a need? And if it is there, how is it done? Then you have the sap in plants. The sap, it transports manufactured food throughout. So it should also be maintained constant. So think about why and how is it maintained constant. So if you can answer those rhetorical questions, then you'll be kawa. You'll be good to start. You'll be good to go for this lesson. And I promise this lesson is going to be easy, really. It is going to be as simple as you think. Also, guys, yes, someone is trying to join, but they are getting hardships.